Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm going to explain about your ICSE history syllabus first lesson. So what they mentioned about that first lesson means nothing. The first war of Indian independence 1857. So what we are calling it as a revolt of 1857 and also Sipai mutiny. So before going to explain this all, before going to start the explanation, I request everyone, those who are watching my videos without subscribing my channel, please subscribe my channel and please notify me. And also I'm going to upload some of the other different videos which will beneficial for your ICSE board exam preparation. So first we can go with the part of introduction for the first war of Indian independence. So I mentioned here the first revolt of 1857 is regarded as the first major united uprising against the British rule. So see, this first war of independence, earlier this was one of the very important incident in our Indian history, because that many Indians joined together and raised the uprising against the British rule. Especially it has begun from the Sipais. Sipais means nothing, Indian soldiers. So later it widespread to the part of that, and they arise the rebellion against the East India Company. So for this war of independence, first war of independence, we can observe that lot of different causes for that. It may be the political causes, socio-religious causes, economic causes, economic causes, and also military causes, immediate causes. So like the same, some of the different causes mentioned. So based on your ICSE board examination, this lesson is very important. And also every year they used to ask question regarding any one cause of first war of independence. That's why you should focus on the causes to the part of rise of revolt of 1857. So one by one we can discuss in this video. Just I'm going to explain the political causes of first war of Indian independence. So one by one we can discuss about it. See, so first one I mentioned that policy of expansion, right? So policy of expansion means nothing, that Britishers always they were trying to expand their administrative system, so expand their ruling system in India. So that expansion we called it as the policy of expansion, and they introduced lot of different policies, so different restrictions on the Indians to expand their ruling system. In that policy of expansion, first method taken by the Britishers means nothing, by outright wars. See, by outright wars means Britishers expanded through the wars. So based on that warfare method, they started to expand their empire or the administrative system. So they declared war against the Marathas, Sikh, Mysore. So lot of different, we are calling it as Anglo-Maratha wars, Anglo-Sikh wars and all, Anglo-Mysore wars. So lot of different wars means they announced war against the Indian kings and kingdoms, and they defeated the Indian rulers and captured the Indian territory. So by capturing that Indian territories, so what happened to the British administration? It expanded most commonly, right? So these all victories representing the expansion policy of the Britishers. So in this, one of the most important incident means nothing, Battle of Plassey. So this year is very important for your board exam, 1757. So that victory of that Battle of Plassey and victory of that Battle of Buxar. So these two wars, these two battle laid the foundation to the British rule in India. So when they achieved victory in Battle of Plassey and Buxar, it only made that foundation for the British ruling in India. So that's one policy followed to expansion of the British administration. So next one is by subsidiary alliances, right? So subsidiary alliances, another one of the policy introduced by the Britishers actually. So which kind of the policy it was? See, into one of the important thing, introduce. Who introduced subsidiary alliances? So this question may rise in your board exam, correct? So that's introduced by Lord Wellesley, very important for your MCQ. So what about the terms and condition of that subsidiary alliances? Means nothing. Indian rulers accepted the British residents. So what about this concept? See, Indian rulers, they should accept, they should have the British residents in their royal courts. Means they must serve for the British residents on that time. So that's one of the first circumstance of subsidiary alliances, or the terms of the subsidiary alliances. Next one, they maintained British troops at their expenses. See, Britishers were always trying to expand the administration system by announcing war against some of the different rulers or the kingdoms. So to engage in the part of continuous wars, they required proper management of the British army. So that expenses of British army must be maintained by the Indian Royal Treasury. So this was also another one of the rules mentioned in the, or conditions mentioned under the part of subsidiary alliances. So next one, lost control over foreign policy and sovereignty. So what happened here under the part of subsidiary alliances? Means completely Indians lost their sovereignty. So sovereignty means what it here? They are able to manage their different or their specific regions and all, but not like that here. So they completely lost the sovereignty, means they were ruling by the foreigners here. That's why this condition we call it as the subsidiary alliances. So next policy introduced by the Britishers means nothing, doctrine of lapse. So what about that doctrine of lapse? So one by one we can discuss that. Before that, who introduced it? That's very important, right? So doctrine of lapse was introduced by the Lord Dalhousie. So it is very important for your MCQ. So what about the conditions of the doctrine of lapse? See, any states or any kingdoms, Indian states or Indian kingdom without natural male heir, that kingdoms must be annexed by the Britishers, or it must be surrendered to the Britishers. So this policy we called it as doctrine of lapse. So under the policy of doctrine of lapse, which were the kingdoms or the states, they didn't have the male heir, they started to surrender or annexed by the Britishers. Very good example. They may ask question that name the states which were annexed under the policy of doctrine of lapse, right? That's why note down that Satara, Jaipur, Sambalpur, Udaipur, Jhansi, Nagpur. So these all were the states initially annexed by the Britishers. Later some other states also comes under the British ruling. So Rani Lakshmibai's adopted son was denied succession. So this is one of the very important concepts. So next one, annexation on the pretext of misrule. So see, this annexation on the pretext of misrule, right? This was completely related to the Awadh region. So under the part of Awadh region was totally annexed by the Britishers in the year of 1856. So British claimed bad administration, means Bengal was not administering properly by the Indian rulers. That's why it must be come under the part of Britishers. So these kind of the reasons given by the British official, and they annexed the Awadh on that time, Awadh in the year of 1856. So nobles, officials and soldiers become hostile. So they started to become the hostile towards the Britishers. So first point completed, policy of expansion. So under the policy of expansion, outright wars, character subsidiary alliances, doctrine of lapse and annexation on the pretext of misrule. So these all points are very important. So we can go for the second political cause it is. Okay, yes. So second political cause means nothing, disrespect shown to Bahadur Shah Jafar. So which kind of the disrespect shown to Bahadur Shah Jafar? So one by one we can discuss about it. Yes. So Bahadur Shah means nothing, Mughal emperor, right? So disrespect shown to the Mughal emperor, we can consider that. So successor of that Mughal rulers and all, they were not allowed to use the imperial titles. So what about that imperial titles, royal titles, correct? So that is completely restricted under the British government. So from the beginning they were using the imperial titles, but in this time it was not allowed to use the imperial title. That's why most commonly this is considering as one of the disrespect shown to the Mughal rulers on that time. So next one, they were ordered to leave the Red Fort after the death of Bahadur Shah. See, Red Fort was one of the most important center of the Mughal rulers on that time. But after the death of that ruler, Mughal ruler Bahadur Shah, that Britishers ordered to leave the Red Fort. So Red Fort should not be used by the Mughal rulers on that time. They should vacate the Red Fort. This order also passed by the Britishers. So these all the measures took by the Britishers deeply hurt the Indian sentiments. Totally they were dominating over the Indians. They hurt the sentiments of the Indians on that time. That's why they decided to rise the revolt against the Britishers. So third political cause was treatment given to Nana Sahib. So what about that treatment given to Nana Sahib? So who was Nana Sahib then? He was the adopted son of Baji Rao II. This is important. So adopted son of Baji Rao II means nothing, that all the Peshwas, so they were getting the pension amount from the Britishers here. So Britishers granted the pension amount. So later they announced one of the policy, doctrine of lapse, right? So that adopted male heir, they should not have any right to ascend the throne, and also they were not having any right to get the pension from the British government. So this Nana Sahib, he was one of the adopted son actually. Till that Baji Rao II, they were getting the pension amount from the Britishers. But suddenly, Britishers refused his pension and the titles. Means British refused to pay the pension amount for the Nana Sahib here. That's why he started to question for the British government on that time. So one of that, but when he questioned regarding that, Britishers completely refused because he was the adopted son of Baji Rao II. So based on this, when that Britishers cancelled the pension amount to the Nana Sahib, so he became the against or opposite to the Britishers. He started to lead the rebels at Kanpur region. Means he became the leader of the revolt in Kanpur region. So this is one of the third political causes. So next one, fourth one, we can observe that. Next one is absentee sovereignty. So absentee sovereignty means, see, India is ruled by a foreign commercial company. So foreign commercial company means nothing, East India Company, correct? So they were completely ignore the Indian welfare. Sovereignty means that rulers or those who are administering, they are living inside of the nation and they used to work for the welfare of the country itself. But absentee sovereignty means not like that. Under the British government, we can observe that absentee sovereignty, they were ruling by the part of that, it was ruling by the commercial company called it as East India Company. So they worked for their welfare itself, for their benefit itself. Totally Indians' welfare ignored under the part of the British administration. So this increased resentment and encouraged the rebellion on that time. So based on these all the different political causes, Indian decided to revolt against the Britishers. So till here I explained about the political causes for the first war of independence, and which are very important for your board examination. That's also while teaching, while explaining, I informed you. please note out that all important points and prepare well for the board exam from today itself. And don't forget to subscribe my channel and share it to your friends, those who are studying in ICSE class 10th and preparing well for the board examination. And like for my video and comment for next topic. So based on your topic, I will upload next video. Thank you everyone. Thank you for watching.